morning. How's everyone doing?
Good.
So thank you so much for coming today and making the first step towards your financial independence. My name is Elisa Belderol, and my group and I are in a national financial literacy campaign. So why this campaign, you may ask? We joined this campaign because even if we live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, people always have money problems. Am I right or am I right?
Yes, you're right.
People work hard all their lives but retire poor. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yes. So people do so much to raise their kids just to see them finish college with a lot of debt. So debt becomes a way of life, right? So currently, America has over $75 trillion of debt. And guess where the government will get the money to pay for that? From taxes, of course. Even Americans that are not born yet have national debts already, right?
Right.
So retirement funds are getting smaller and smaller, and by 2037, funds will be depleted. And that is why a man named Suan Yen started this campaign in 1985. So I'm going to show you a picture of the guy, the man that started this campaign.
Hey, Coach.
Okay? So he wants to help families move from financial insecurity to financial independence. But before I talk about some financial concepts, I want to ask you this question to the person beside you. So ask the person beside you, ask this question. And I'm going to show you the question, okay? Here we go. So can you please ask that question to the person beside you? Go ahead.
What do you do if you know exactly how to?
Thank you. What would you do if you knew exactly how to win? And I'm going to say how to win the money game, okay? What would you do, Laura? She'll be happy about it. So yes, okay? So if you only know how to win the money game, of course you're going to be happy and you'll know what to do, right? So all the financial concepts that I will be talking about will be coming from this book, okay? Saving Your Future, and it was written by our coach, Suan Yen. So I will go now and talk about this book and use some other instructional materials for you to be able to understand how to win the money game and how to be financially independent. So let me show you this one, okay? This one is what we call a financial house. So I'm going to use this one just to let you know how you can build your financial foundation. So let me ask you, Vince, when you're building a house, what is the most important part of when you build a house? Foundation. Okay? So when building a house, the most important one is the foundation. And as you can see in this house, protection is the foundation of the financial. Okay? Your financial independence depends on what protection you have in your life. You may ask, what is protection? So protection means, do you have life insurance? Do you have a good health insurance? And do you have a long-term care to take care of you when you get older, when you get sick?
Chronic
okay?
illness.
That's long-term care. Yeah, we also have chronic illness insurance for that one. So like building a house, you should start with a solid financial foundation and build it from the ground up. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I'm going to talk about why do we need life insurance. So when something happens, okay, and then you're not protected, what's going to happen to your family, right? Now a lot of people when you ask them, do you have life insurance? They say, no, I don't need that. But what if I say you're working and something happens to you? What's going to happen to your family, right? If you're the sole breadwinner of the family and something happens to you, who's going to take care of the responsibilities in the house, right? And so I will get this book and I'm going to talk about why we need life insurance in our lives. So if you have a book with you, go to page 29 of your book. So understanding life insurance. Today people have all kinds of protection. They insure their house, their cars, their phones, and appliances. Okay? They even buy travel insurance for their vacation. So I don't know if you're that kind of person wherein you insure everything, but then you forget to insure your life, right? So right now, how many of you have life insurance? Thank you so much. Okay, so those of you that don't have life insurance, think about this. If you insured your phone, okay, and you don't insure your life, so that means your phone is more important than your life. If you insured your car and you did not insure your life, that means your car is more important than your life, right? But I know, all of us know that we are more important. We are the most important person in the world because this is our life. So you need to insure your life because that's the most important thing in your life. Your life is the most important thing, okay? So that's number one when you're thinking about protection. But when it comes to life insurance, people remain skeptical. The most important insurance that protects their family and their children is not taken seriously. Life insurance doesn't insure your life. It ensures your family's ability to continue on without being financially devastated. Don't you agree?
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Strong talaga yan. Book na yun ah.
now that you know that life insurance is very important, okay? Sometimes people say, "Oh, I will get life insurance in the future or when I get older." But then here's the problem, okay? When you get older, then you're going to be sick. So that means the question is, are you still insurable? So when you're young and healthy, that is the best time to get life insurance. So a lot of people are not insurable and may not know it. An estimated 80 million Americans have one or more types of heart disease. One of two men and one of three women have the risk of developing cancer in their lifetime. So think about that, okay? Just this past week when we were in the meeting at our office, one of our members shared about one of their clients, Myla, shared one of their clients that she had she had the life insurance. Like she just got a life insurance, I think, for 2.5 months, right? And she was trying to cancel the insurance. But then Myla persuaded her not to cancel it. Now, lo and behold, okay, she was diagnosed with cancer recently, and so she was very thankful that she did not cancel the policy because right now she's having protection from. She got, I think, 350,000 long-term care for her to use, right?
She has 100,000 coverage, but we're filing a claim for the living benefits of the critical illness because of cancer.
There you go. So she will be able to use the money from the face amount, part of the face amount, to use for that for the healing or the chemotherapy, right? So that's very important, okay? So we don't know. Life is not certain, okay? Something can happen to you. You're healthy now, then tomorrow you won't be healthy. So it's good to have protection in your life because if you don't have protection, then you're going to be using your debit card, your credit cards. You're going to have loans. You're going to have to sell your properties, and so your funds will be depleted, okay? So that's very important for protection. So going back to our house, okay? So I talked about life insurance. Part of the life insurance that I'm going to talk about is how do you calculate how much protection do you need, okay? So my receptionist, I want you to give paper to our guests, and I'm going to have them calculate how much protection do I need, because some people say, yeah, I already have $100,000 protection of life insurance, or I have term insurance, I have $30,000, so I think that's enough for me. But did you think about, like, how do you calculate the proper protection for your life? So we're going to do that right now. So we're going to use this one. Before we do that, I'm going to talk about the X-curve, okay? So how many of you know the X-curve? Okay, some of you don't know that yet, so I'm going to talk about it. The X-curve is simply explaining, okay? You have the curve for responsibility. That means while you're young, okay, you have a lot of responsibilities, so your curve is high here, okay? And as you get older, hopefully your responsibilities go down. Now, this curve here represents the curve for wealth. While you're young, you're still building up your wealth, so you don't have a lot of wealth, okay? And as we get older, hopefully your wealth also gets bigger, okay? So this is the X curve, your responsibility curve and your wealth curve. So as we get older, hopefully we have less responsibilities and more wealth, okay? So hopefully we have prepared for our retirement by this time. This one, while you're young, if you have a lot of responsibilities, then you should be able to get the proper protection, because if something happens to you, then whatever responsibilities you're going to leave behind, you got to have enough protection for all the people that will be leaving behind and then taking over your responsibilities. So this is the right time to get the proper protection. So everyone, I want you to think about time now. So we're going to calculate how much protection you need. So here D stands for debt or loans. Okay, I stands for income, M stands for mortgage, E stands for education. So D, okay, let's look at D first, debt. Think about all the debts you have, loans, car loans, and calculate everything and add them up. So for example, I'm going to give an example, Jose. I'm going to say Jose has a total debt of, including credit cards, of 15,000. Okay. Income. So rule of 10. When something happens to you, your income times 10 should be the proper protection for your family because it's going to take them 10 years at least to recover for what you left behind, okay? So for example, Jose is earning 50,000 per year, so times that by 10, okay? So 50,000 times 10, that's 500,000 for Jose. That's the income. And then for you, calculate your income also. Okay? M stands for mortgage. So if you have mortgage, your house, if it's 100,000, 350,000, you still owe the bank, then you're going to place that here. So Jose, fortunately, he has a house, okay? So he's still paying around, let's say he's paying around 200,000 still. So he still owes the bank 200,000. Now, this person, Jose, has 2 kids, okay? Now, 2 kids, in case you're gone, they need to go to college, okay? You got to prepare for that. So 2 kids, how much do you think is the yearly educational expenses for 1 kid to finish 4-year course? Maybe like 80,000 per child, right? So if he has 2 kids, that's going to be how much? That's going to be 160,000, right? Okay. Now we're going to add all of that. So Jose is going to need 5, 7. He's going to need $875,000 of life protection. Okay? So whenever he needs to talk to an agent, a life insurance agent, then he needs to tell the agent, oh, I need $875,000 protection for my life because in case I pass away or something happens to me, then my family is covered to pay all these responsibilities that I'm going to be left behind. Okay? So any questions on that one? Okay, so think about this one when you're getting life insurance. So make sure you